studying his playbook and watching film with his coach. So it's pretty apparent he's realized how important football is to him. And he's realized that in the NFL, you can't get away with maybe some of the things he did in college because it's a big boys game now. I like it. I like what he said, and I really hope that's true about Johnny Manziel. I am still a Johnny football supporter. I truly am. I'm hoping he succeeds. Now, whether the Browns go out, trade up to get a quarterback and most likely Marcus Mariota, one, I hope that doesn't happen because I like Mariota, and even though that would be a great competition to see and as media to be able to watch Johnny football versus Marcus Mariota going head-to-head in a starting quarterback position would be awesome. It really would, and honestly, it would probably make each other better, except for the person that is then on the bench to start week 1. So I hope they keep, they just draft an offensive lineman, they draft receivers, they got stable running backs that can really, really shock the NFL how good these guys are. They're really underrated. You don't have to get a running back. Maybe build an offensive tackle. I don't know. Definitely improve the defense and get some wide receivers. Wide receiver has to be number 1. If you're going to trade up, you need to get Amari Cooper or Kevin White. Don't get a quarterback. And I think you find a solid squad and the Browns making a little bit of noise with Johnny football. I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping so. So hopefully he is studying his playbook, watching film with coaches, and really focusing on getting his stuff together so that way he is the Browns' starting quarterback and he's completing more than 8 passes in a game and not getting blown out 30-0 against a rival. That's what I hope. Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson apparently hasn't ditched his desire to play for the Dallas Cowboys if the opportunity presented itself. Saying, quote, "It would be nice. I've got family here. My dad's here, but I'm under contract, so we'll see," he told Dallas WFAA TV while in audience for Houston Rockets closeout of a 103-94 victory against the Mavericks on Tuesday night. Bam! Did you guys like that? See how that tied that in there to the NBA to give you some... Okay, anyways. Earlier Tuesday, the Vikings reiterated that their position has, quote, not changed and that they have no plans to trade Peterson. General manager Rick Spielman said, quote, we can just end the Adrian Peterson stuff. Our position has not changed. We have no interest in trading Adrian Peterson. Man, I hope he goes to the Cowboys. That would be something. That really would. And to bring him back, home. So, Vikings, make it happen. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Police are seeking to question potential first-round draft pick LSU offensive tackle La'el Collins following the shooting death of a pregnant woman last week. Yeah, check this out. But the former LSU offensive lineman is not considered a suspect. Collins' attorney, Jim Boren, told police, quote, we took the investigation seriously. Actually, he didn't tell the police. He told media. We took the investigation seriously. We've tried to rule him out as a suspect. We're going to provide the information to the police, and ultimately Collins will sit down and talk to them, but the timing is poor, which he's correctamundo on that. Timing is terrible for this to come out, because even though the police have said he is not considered a suspect, this raises a ton of eyebrows, and now immediately anybody that was looking at offensive tackle, especially looking at La'el Collins, are looking, okay, this is going to change the draft board a good amount in the mid to late round, in the first round, because it's, this guy was a sure offensive tackle first round pick, and now it's like, okay, let's go and do some research on this. The woman's name was Brittany Mills. She was 29 and is believed by police to be the former girlfriend of Collins. She was found shot to death in her apartment Friday night by police, who rushed her to the hospital where an infant was delivered. Again, Collins is projected to be a first-round pick in the draft, which begins, of course, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning? What? I have to look that up just a second. I believe that's typo. Sources told ESPN a handful of teams have become aware of the incident and would like to know if police determined that Collins is the father of the infant who was delivered after Mills' death. The baby is still receiving medical treatment, so prayers go out to that family, whether it's Collins' baby or not. Definitely have them in your prayers. But we'll just have to see about Collins. I mean, this is a huge thing. The guy said it best. The timing is just terrible. It really is. It just comes after if it comes after the NFL draft, and or at least after he's picked, it's okay, I guess, to some extent, because they would be like, all right, well, he's not considered a suspect, blah, blah, blah. We'll be okay. We can handle this. But now it hurts him where he's gonna get drafted. I mean, he could potentially drop to a second round. We'll just have to see. A guy that is in trouble, though, and is going to be missing the NFL season for this upcoming year is Dion Jordan, Miami Dolphins defensive end / linebacker, who is suspended for the entire 2015 season for violating the NFL substance abuse policy for the second time. The Miami Dolphins defensive end also violated the league's substance abuse and performance enhancement policies in 2014. Tuesday's third strike is enough for the Dolphins to go in a different direction. And honestly, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because he hasn't really done much. He was right now in the depth chart. You look at it, he's a fourth defensive end behind starters Cameron Wake, Oliver Vernon, and backup Derek Shelby. Miami is already has a promising young replacement ready to fill Jordan's role in Terrence Feed. So with that, Dion Jordan is likely done in Miami, and his football career is now in jeopardy. But at this stage, it's more important to have your concern for his personal well-being. Jordan told Miami media following last year's suspension that drugs are not an issue in his life. That proves to be untrue with this. So we'll just have to see. I mean, Dion Jordan was honestly, looking back at the draft when he was drafted, 2-3 years ago, I don't know. I didn't know what the hype was for him coming out of Oregon. I knew he was that big 6'6", 6'7" defensive end, and it, just looked real aggressive because, sometimes when the Oregon Ducks would wear those dark green uniforms or black, it looked like a monster out there. And he had his plays, but honestly, I never thought he was like, yeah, I'm going to draft this guy 5th overall. I would have to go back and look at that draft to see who was around there. And, of course, we could always do that. After every draft, we always do that at the end of the first year. We look at redrafting that year or whatever. And it's easy to say, like I just read one this morning about redrafting last season's draft, and it said for the Houston Texans, first overall pick, Teddy Bridgewater instead of Jadeveon Clowney. While I had, Johnny Football at the time, it's easy to say, all right, Bridgewater was the best quarterback because obviously the season's already been over, and we saw that he was the best rookie quarterback. So it's hard to say, but I just never really liked Dion Jordan. I didn't think he was going to be great, or worth a 5th pick overall in the NFL draft or whatever. So I don't know. We'll have to see where he goes from here. But, yeah, Miami Dolphins is likely done. But that could mean after this year, and if they cut him or whatever, Philadelphia, becoming the Philadelphia Ducks. They could sign him. Imagine Philadelphia still somehow gets Marcus Mariota. Bam, you got the entire squad right there. You just need the Anthony Thomas, which I don't see happening. The Redskins will exercise their 5th-year option on Robert Griffin III's contract, a move that will keep the star quarterback under Washington's control through the 2016 season. General Manager Scott McGlonin announced that the team's decision Monday, saying there is a very positive feeling in the building right now. Griffin will make $16.2 million in the option year in 2016. He will make $3.27 million in base salary this season. The $16.2 million is guaranteed for injury only, meaning Washington could release Griffin prior to the start of the 2016 league year without any salary cap problems. You don't have to worry about any of that. Griffin appeared in just 9 games last season due to an ankle injury, passing for 1,694 yards and 4 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. He has battled injuries and widespread, just everybody attacking him since his outstanding rookie season in 2012, where he led the Redskins to the NFC East title and, of course, a playoff appearance. Falcons head coach Dan Quinn says Shane Ray, Missouri defensive end, is absolutely still on the board. New coach Dan Quinn said the team would not disqualify Missouri's Shane Ray from consideration because of his recent marijuana arrest. Assuming, of course, you believe anything a coach says right now, especially this week, they could just be just blowing smoke, just saying, hey, we're going to draft him. We're still interested, just for somebody above him to pick him and say, we're getting blah, blah, blah. During an appearance of Sirius XM's Mad Dog Sports Radio with Adam Sheen, Quinn said they were comfortable with their evaluation and that Ray was, quote, absolutely still on their board as they prepare for the 8th pick overall, saying, quote, that was why it was important for us to, when you get the chance to connect with a player, not just at the combine, but oftentimes when you get a chance to go to the school or go to their hometown and visit with them. That's why those visits are so important. So unfortunately for Thomas Dimitrov, I don't know who that is, and I believe that's the GM, I guess. We were able to go to a number of guys, whether it was hometowns or schools, to visit with the guys, and it is such a valuable time, as you can imagine. But it felt great about meeting Shane and the guys we did. As we're going through this process, we feel good about him. I think he had a setback. It was hard, and hopefully one that, like I said, he learns from and can move from. So, I don't know. We'll see. It could just be smoke, just saying, that yes, they really wanted him, and now it's like, all right, maybe we want whoever else is a defense. Leonard Williams, there's no way he drops to number 8. There's absolutely no freaking way. So they can't be like, all right, blank team above us, you pick Shane Ray because we really want him, and maybe we play you, or maybe we're in the same division. You picked him, we're getting Leonard. Yeah, see, Leonard Williams, there's no way. I don't know who else is out there for a defensive end that high of a pick. The Jets will be paying $100,000 fine as a result of owners Woody Johnson's premature comments about wanting to have cornerback Darrelle Revis back with the team. But Revis said, quote, "You know what? I think I'm better than I was before when I played earlier in my career. I think I'm more way more intelligent in the position." That's a messed up quote. I had a great learning experience last year with Bill. He helped me in a lot of ways. I've seen the game in a different way, probably by cheating. But at the same time, I think the growth of me growing as a player and growing as a man has helped me tremendously. Now I'm a different type of player, a better player than I was when I was younger. So he's like, you know what? That's fine. Woody Johnson, you got money, you got cash. You write that on a check, send it to him, get it over with. Let's go out and win some football games. Revis, I don't know what you're doing. John Gruden, yes, the guy that's at ESPN, says that Mariota does everything a quarterback needs to do and should be viewed as a player, as a top player in the draft. Saying, quote, "I don't understand why Mariota isn't the number 1 player in this draft on Mel Kiper's big board." Gruden disagrees with those who think Mariota is a product of Oregon's offense and not a fit for the NFL. And he said this, and I absolutely 100% agree with what he said right here. Quote, "I don't know anybody in this draft that can do for a football team what Mariota can do. He can read the field. The whole thing about Oregon being no huddle, dive option team, that is just a narrative resulting from a lack of information. The Ducks run a lot of pro-style concepts. Mariota does a lot with the protections. I've seen him throw the ball with touch and timing in tight windows. Where is it at? Oh, never mind. I thought there was more. But, I mean, anyways, that's still a great quote. But he later goes on that he points out that Mariota is the same size